Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome to chapter 9.7. We're still dealing with area of polygons. Today's polygon is a triangle. So you're going to determine the area. So let's start with how do you determine base and height? Base is always the measure that you see sort of lengthwise. And then the height, it's kind of like the parallelogram as well. You look for the right angle and it's basically the highest point of the triangle down to the base. So sometimes you'll see that red dotted line or the dotted line with the right angle inside. Sometimes you can see it outside of the triangle as well. So let's get started. So for the first one, we have a base of 12 feet and a height of 8 feet. So for the formula, area is equal to 1/2 BH. Now the 1/2 is because if you were to take two triangles and put them together that are exactly the same type of triangle, right? You would form either a rectangle or some type of parallelogram, rhombus, or something like that. So therefore, a triangle is always half of the area of a parallelogram or a rectangle. So let's go. Area is equal to 1/2. Now the base in this case is 12. And then the height, you look for the right angle, and it's 8. So there's several ways that you can do this, guys. You can move numbers around. You can drop the 1/2, multiply the 12 and the 8 first, and get half of that. I like to use order of operations where I look for the numbers that are very compatible that I can do my math mentally. So half of 12 obviously is 6. And then I just drop the 8. And then in the last step, 6 times 8 is 48. And don't forget that we're talking about area. So it is 48 square feet. So for the next rectangle, and by the way, you will be doing decimals and you'll also be dealing with mixed numbers. So notice that you have the right angle right there. So this is a right triangle. The base right here is 11.4 centimeters. Then the height is 6.1 centimeters. So again, basic formula, area is equal to 1/2 BH. Area is equal to 1/2, the base is 11.4, and then the height is 6.1. So first thing I'm going to do, I would take 11.4, take it to the side, divide it by 2, and get an answer. And if I get half of 11.4, you should get 5.7. So 5.7 times 6.1, okay? And then go ahead and multiply 57 times 61. Get an answer, and then since you have 2 decimal places, slide the decimal to the left twice, and you should get 34.77. So area is equal to 34.77. We're talking about centimeters. Don't forget that it's centimeters squared. All right, so there you have it for that part. Now we're going to be working on the next part of the lesson that you're going to determine a missing measure when you're given one of the measures and then you're given the area. So how do you figure that out? So your instructions for this part are determine the missing measure. So let's see how that works. Instructions, determine missing measure. All right, so let's say, for example, they give you that the base in this case is going to be 25 meters. The area is going to be 375 meters squared. So remember, area is equal to 1/2 BH. Now, we've been given the area of 375 meters squared. So under A, we're going to substitute that by 375. The 1/2 drops down. We've been given the base of 25. So drop your 25 into the base. And then what we're looking for is obviously the height. And understand that in this worksheet, everything is about triangles. So let's go ahead and start 375. I'm not doing anything with that yet, but I need to figure out half of 25. Half of 25 is 12.5. And then ask yourself, how can I get rid of 12.5? Because I want to isolate my h. I want to let h stand alone. So what's happening between 12.5 and h? It's multiplication. So in order to get rid of it, divide both sides by 12.5. So I'm going to divide 12.5 on this side and 12.5 on that side. So go ahead and slide the decimal, do your division on the side. Final answer. Of course, I'm not showing you the division because you should know how to divide by now. So if you go ahead and divide 375 by 12.5, you're going to get 30. So h is equal to 30, and it's meters. Don't put meters squared because remember, this is only the height. It's not area. Okay? Let's try another one. What if you are given the height of 11.6 and then the area is going to be 23.2 feet. Okay? So the height is 11.6, the area is 23.2. So again, area is equal to 1/2. The h, the area we've been given is 23.2. Drop your 1/2 down. We don't have the base, so drop your b down, but we do have the height of 11.6. Now, go ahead and figure out what half of 11.6 is. Take 11.6 on the side, divide it by 2, you should get 5.8. So 23.2 is equal to 5.8 b. Now, how do I get rid of 5.8? Divide both sides by 5.8 because 5.8 is being multiplied to b. So divide one side and the other side by 5.8. Take it to the side, divide 23.2 by 5.8. If you divide it, you should get b is equal to 4, and we're talking about feet. So this is how you find an unknown side length. Now, how can we apply area of triangles to real world issues? So you're going to have a very similar question to this question on this board. So here we go. It says you've got a tablecloth and it has a triangular design on it, okay? So here is the tablecloth. It's a 10-foot by 6-foot tablecloth, so it's for a pretty long table, dinner table. And then they want you to figure out what is the area of the triangle, and what they're asking for is basically what is the area of this part of the tablecloth alone. Now, based on the information, if we're looking for the area of a triangle, area is equal to 1/2 BH, right? We need the base of the triangle. The base on the triangle is up here, okay? The height, you don't see the dotted line, but you're supposed to infer from the clues that you've been given on the rest of the measurements. So let's figure it out. Now for the triangle, the base, we're talking about the distance from here to here. If the entire distance of the rectangle is 10 feet, and they're telling you from this point of the triangle to this corner of the rectangle is 2 feet, and the same thing on the other side, from this corner of the triangle to this corner of the rectangle is 2 feet, this is a total of 4 feet. So what's 10 minus 4? 6. So we know that the base is 6 feet. Now the height of the triangle, where do I get the height from? Remember that the height is always from the highest point to the lowest point, and this is where my right angle would be. Now, they didn't give it to us, but guess what, guys? Is this not a rectangle? Is this not the height of the rectangle as well? Well, it's the width, but we can consider it as the height. So then this height of the triangle is 6 feet as well, okay? So you're able to apply other information in order to determine, you know, the base and the height. So if we're using the formula, area is equal to 1/2 BH. Area is equal to 1/2. The base is 6 feet. The height is 6 feet. And remember, you can multiply the 6 times 6 and then divide it by 2, up to you. I just take 1/2 of 6 is 3. Drop my other 6 down. area is equal to 3 times 6, which is 18. We're talking about feet squared. So the triangle alone is 18 square feet. So there you have it, guys. Pretty easy lesson. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to come to class, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.